Sherry.
Good morning. Good morning, one and all.
Hello, Sherry.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Jamie.
Happy Not Monday.
Yay, it's not Monday.
It's always nice to start the week when it's already not Monday. Everyone's smiling and happy. All right.
Indeed.
So, can anyone guess what we're going to work on this morning?
Well,
Let me guess. Interview questions.
No, we backburnered that. What were you saying?
Oh,
I need hands. Joyce, what were you saying?
presentations.
Presentations, that's right. Jordan, what do you need to be doing? Thank you. How are you feeling? How you feeling, Jordan? What? Good. All better. Good. Okay. Let's see. I know John's in here. I must be hiding him behind this. Hi.
Hi.
John. Yeah, you two are right hiding from me.
My
Okay.
tooth is shining in the sun. Do you see that?
it is.
You like
I'm like, oh my gosh, so weird.
commercial. All right. Well, I was able to get everyone in. That's always a good thing. And now I'm gonna. I kind of did some updating to our presentation, and we're gonna share it and make some changes on it. Okay. So remember, I won't be able to see all your shiny faces while this is up. So if you need to shout out, you may do so. You know, related to what we're working on. Okay. Let this be right. Yeah.
Yay.
It's a good day. I can tell. All right. I'm going to move you guys all over a little bit more. There. Oh, oops. That thing's going everywhere. Sorry. We're going to zoom across.
Wee.
Yeah. We're going to zoom over here. It's like y'all been on a ride already this morning. Okay, so in our DMV class on Friday, a few people were willing to claim some lines here, but we still have more to go. The first one, so far I'm not loving everyone saying, welcome to Project Search Together, because it's not going well. Looks like Yvonne agrees with that. Okay, so maybe one person wants to take that first line, welcome to Project Search.
I'll take it.
Andrew, do we have you on any of these extra ones yet? Yeah, I see Clad, Nathan, Tyler, Devin. No, we do not. So, okay. So, but Andrew, you can't get all nervous. I mean, you're going to be the first line. Are you good for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I'm going to put you here. And I'll take away the question mark.
And by then I'll have my new headphones.
Good. Okay. So you're going to say, tell us how you're going to say it. Remember, you're the first, those first 4 words are going to start the whole presentation.
Welcome to.
Yep.
Welcome to Project Search.
Okay. All right. And then our second one, remember, I added some words. Some you told me, some I was trying to make things flow better, but, you know, I want us to say all these things, but I want you to say them, you know, kind of in your own way, not in my way. So the second one says, we are here today to talk to, we are here to talk to you today. See, I see today. We are here today to talk to you today. We are here to talk to you today about what we have learned this year at Project Search and why you should apply. Maybe I'll put that you so you can put emphasis on it in caps. Okay. So we have no one that's taken that line so far. Jordan, Sam, who's interested in that one?
I could take it if y'all want.
Well, Stepan, you have a really big one coming up. Look, yours is the biggest one so far. Look at that.
Oh, it is. Never mind. Take that back.
And yours comes pretty quick in it, so I was thinking maybe you would do one of our other lines we're adding towards the bottom.
Okay, I understand.
We could see, but I mean, yours is. I gave you like a chunk of a paragraph there.
I
Anybody-
don't mind.
Okay, so you want me to put you there then, Stefan?
No. I was agreeing with you about waiting. Sorry.
Okay. So who wants to take number 2? That I don't already
I
have.
would take it.
Sam? Okay, Sam. Good. I'm going to put you here. All right. So why don't you go ahead and read that, Sam? Remember-
We are here to
Yeah.
talk to you today about we have learned this year at Project Church and why you should apply.
Why you should apply. You might even want to put a point in there. And why you should apply. What do you think? I'll do it one more time and I will really.
It might be a
Start from the top.
We are here to talk to you today about what we have learned this year at Project Church and why you should apply.
Good. Okay, Clad, can you take number 3, please?
What does it say?
Can't see it?
I can see it.
Okay.
If you're not a presenter, we ask that you mute yourselves. We will be able to answer any questions you may have after our presentation.
Great. All right, Nathan.
Project Search is a program for young adults with disabilities whose primary goals are employment and to live as independent lives as possible.
So are y'all okay with that line? That's kind of how I sum up Project Search. But are you all okay with how it's written?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's actually kind of how I felt about it. I was just like, yes.
That's pretty much what it is. So
Mhm.
I'm lying.
Okay, Andrew, go ahead.
Could you send me a copy of that?
Yeah,
Just
I
that
will
way-
send everyone a copy of this after class, okay?
Okay, since I just might go ahead.
Go ahead, Andrew.
I might want to print it out just that way.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to everybody, okay?
Okay.
I just wanted us all to work on it together first, and we'll continue to work on it. This is not like a final. We're still, well, kind of like a second step in a rough draft, here, okay? Okay. Tyler,
Yeah.
can you read your line? Are you with us this morning?
Yeah. During a non-pandemic year, interns work in a shouldn't it say the Kaiser Hospital?
At the Kaiser Hospital? That would sound like there's only one.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
Lots of Kaiser hospitals. At Kaiser Hospital, Morse. Do you want to say Morse?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay. Okay. Can you read it?
Yeah. During a non-pandemic year, interns work in a variety of departments at Kaiser Hospital Morse, learning important employment skills.
Good. Devin? Number 6. Are you there, Devin? I don't see your picture, so. Go ahead, Devin.
Okay. Although we haven't been able to work in a hospital this year, we still have learned many new skills.
Good. Okay, so remember when we're actually doing the presentation, you're all going to need to pay really attention to when you're next because I don't want to call out your name. I don't want to sit there just in silence and go, Devin, Tyler, right? I want you all just to be able to run with it. Okay? All right,
Okay.
so Ron, this is rough. I worked on yours a lot this morning, so we might need to make it shorter, but why don't you take that from the top?
Alright. Hi, my name is Stefan. I have gained the confidence and learned the skills to independently ride the RT bus. My dream job is to become a custodian this year.
I want you to pay attention to your periods and your commas, okay? So start from the top, please.
Okay. Hi, my name is Stefan. I have gained the confidence and learned the skills to independently ride the RT bus. My dream job is to become a custodian this year. I have learned to clean more thoroughly, including how to clean high touch points for safety during COVID. I am also taking classes to earn my certificate as a custodial
technician.
Custodial technician. Another important thing I have learned is what it takes to be a good team player.
Good. All right, Clad, and I know you had more things, so we can add to it. This is just all I had, and that's all I had on my paper.
That's fine.
Wait, may I say something real quick
Yes,
regarding mine?
Of course.
So very it's not a big deal, but hard words like that I might have a problem with. But other than that, I could try to like sound it out and stuff. So my apologies. I just let you know that.
For the custodial technician?
Well, yeah, but just in general, I
That's
was
why
just
it's good
letting
to
you know.
practice.
Yeah, we can work on that, Stefan. I'll help you with that, okay?
Make it
Okay.
custodian, we can. I was just looking at your certificate. I was looking at the flyer, and that's where I got those words, because that's actually what you're going to get your certificate as. But if it gets too hard, you know, you can work with Yvonne. And
I understand.
Yeah, I'll help you, Stefan. Don't worry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, Clad. Go ahead and read it like this, and then tell me what you want to add, okay?
Okay. Good morning. My name is Clad. I have learned how to try my hardest, have a good work attitude, be thorough and efficient, how to write professional emails, and I have learned that if a problem is too big, I can rely on others for assistance.
Beautiful. So you had
Hello.
Oh, sorry, Nathan. Hold on just a minute. You were ready to rock. Great job. Great job. Clad, did you have things you wanted me to add or word?
Yes. For others, I don't think there should be an apostrophe there.
I think there should, because you're talking about more than one other person. But it's not lighting up, so maybe.
I don't think that works.
Maybe you don't need to. Okay. Anything else that you would like different or that you'd like to add?
Nothing is coming to mind right now.
Okay, we're still gonna have to tie in some examples, right, of how you learned these things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to think of concrete examples to use.
Yes, we like some of those. All right, Nathan, I know yours is not done yet, but you sure are ready to go, so go.
Hello, I have learned public speaking skills, how to understand paychecks and write personal paychecks.
What else did you say you wanted to add?
I wanted to add professionalism and what it means to be professional.
Okay, so I'm open for suggestions where we should put that in. Maybe before everything, like right here after Nathan.
Sounds good.
So what did you say? I have learned, or I learned, and remember, so this is now rough again, so we can fix it. I learned, what about professionalism?
Good morning, everyone.
Hi,
My
Ellen.
name is.
Wait, Eleanor, hold on.
My name is.
Wait, Miss Eleanor. Hold on. That's awesome that you're ready to go, but I'm still working with Nathan a little bit on this one, okay? So, Nathan, what about professionalism?
I learned what it means to be professional, and that's not just how you dress, but how you act.
It isn't just and do you have any examples or anything you want to put in there?
Not right now, but I'm definitely thinking about a couple. I mean, I guess we could put the Kaiser one in there.
What?
The Kaiser, when I actually start a little Kaiser project search party at Kaiser.
Well, we'll think about how we'll word that, right? So we want to teach them the things we want them to learn, not so much of all the bad examples. But sometimes they're funny stories to tell. So you want to take that from the top for now?
Yes. Hello, my name is Nathan. I have learned what it means to be professional. It isn't just how you dress, but how you act. I have learned public speaking skills, how to understand paychecks and write personal paychecks.
Personal check.
Personal checks.
It's not a paycheck if you're paying it to someone else. It's a paycheck when you get it from your employer.
Correct.
Right? And then you write the personal checks to pay your personal bills. Yeah.
Correct.
All right, Eleanor, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Eleanor. This year, I have learning how to follow direction, being a dam, and how to settings that Google Docs.
Yeah, through Google Docs. Great job, Eleanor. Anything else you want to say right now, or does that sound good?
Good.
Good. Okay. Andrew, we can always add to yours too, but why don't you take it from what we have here first?
Okay. Hi, my name is Andrew, and what I have learned this year are cleaning skills, the importance of not interrupting others, and how to be part of a team.
What do you
I
think?
think that sounds good for me.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So these shorter ones, we're particularly going to add those things we're missing to your shorter ones. So if you have a long one, you're probably lucky that we won't mess with it very much. All right, Devin.
Okay. Hello, my name is Devin, and I have learned how to be professional, on time, and very honest.
Is there anything else you can think of right now you would like to add?
No.
Okay, we will be adding to yours, though, I can tell you that. You and Andrew, because they're pretty darn short. Okay?
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Sam. This year, I have learned how to write professional emails and journal prompts. I am also taking an additional class called APACS. APAC is for students who are 1 or 2 classes away from earning a high school diploma.
Yeah, I don't think that one's totally dire, but Sam, do you have any input? Anything you'd like to add? Anything you don't like saying here?
I have nothing else to add.
Okay, Yvonne, do you have comments?
We'll work on practicing this, Sam, because there's some, I think the pronunciation of professionalism, I think that's hard. That's a very long word. So I think we're going to have to work on some of the words here. But so did you want her to say specifically what we're learning in the bio class? Because Sam is the only one that has an opportunity to talk about APACS. Yeah. And I think if we want to do it, and I'm all for doing it next year for I guess I should say this year for the students that are incoming, because I like the program and I have fun working with Sam and it's really interesting and I know it now. So Sam should really talk about APACS a little bit more, because that would be I think a little selling point for students. Well, hey, I can do that too, and do project search and get my diploma there, and so I think that's a really cool thing that Sam's going to be able to say that. So, yeah.
Okay, so we know it's going to get tweaked. All right, Jonathan, you are up. I want you to sit up straight. Give me eye contact. Sit up real straight, please. Jonathan.
Yeah.
Sit up straight, please. Sit up nice and straight and deliver. Where'd your picture go? I got to find you again, Jonathan. Hold on. Oh, I just passed you. Coming back.
Okay.
Okay, where'd you go? There you are. All right, so sit up nice and straight. Okay, and deliver your lines. I'll put it right up here at the top for you. Hold on. All right. Go, Jonathan. It says, do you want me to say it first or you got it?
Say it first.
Okay. It says, good morning. My name is Jonathan. I have learned how to be more social, ask for help when needed, and important job skills. The first part should be pretty easy for you because it's good morning. My name is Jonathan. Deliver it. Okay?
I know.
All right, go.
My name is Jonathan. I have learned to
how to be more social
and ask for help. Yeah.
And important job skills. Yeah, good. You're coming around, guy. All right, Tyler, the last three are still pretty darn rough, okay? So Tyler, take it from here and we'll see what we need to add.
Okay. Hello, my name is Tyler. I am one of 3 returning interns from last year. In this class, I have learned how to act and dress professionally, interview skills, and public speaking. Last year, I was able to work in 2 internships at Kaiser Hospital and navigate the hospital.
We're going to talk about that because both you, like I said, you and Royce have some real similar things. And unfortunately, all 3 of you worked basically the same internships. So I just want, with the 3 of you, to work it out where you're talking about different things that you learned at the hospital so that you're not all saying safety and cafeteria.
I said home health when I was talking to Yvonne for that.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah. I mean, I'll say probably should have the safety department. Dorian would have food service, and I just have home health. So that way we have our own separate ones.
Good. Okay, so food service here and safety here. Okay, and how about navigating the hospital? Because both of you use those words as well.
Well, I'm working in the home health where I don't really work at the hospital. I'm more like in the office setting.
Okay. And you might even need, so that will be you, Tyler. You might need to say a little bit, kind of explain what navigating the hospital means. And you're going to talk about the safety department. Okay?
Okay.
So why don't you work on that part a little bit today? Or do you want us all to work on it right now? We have time.
Yeah, that's fine. Either one.
Okay, so do you like everything up to Kaiser?
I think so.
Okay. All right. At Kaiser Hospital, where, I don't know, we can change these things. Where I learned how to navigate the hospital. But is everyone going to understand what navigate the hospital means?
Like how to get around the hospital, pretty much.
Okay, so maybe you need to say it like that.
Yes, definitely.
How to get around the hospital. Maybe like 2 more general things that you learned working in the hospital, and then we could say a few things that you learned in safety.
Okay.
So where I learned how to get around the hospital, you know, maybe how to work with Kaiser employees.
I learned to be more social with the Kaiser employees and the guests. Because I know I struggled with that at first.
Okay. And then maybe I have another space there somewhere. How to get around the hospital. I learned to be more social with Kaiser employees and guests. You have one more, General?
I can't really think of anything.
Anybody else one more kind of general being at Kaiser Hospital thing? To work independently, maybe?
Well, I think that's part of safety.
Are you going to say that in safety? Okay. Yvonne, anybody have like one more thing to put there?
Maybe following the hospital rules. Like, you know how Tyler or the food service had a different lunch break, I think, because that's what the boss there wanted. Didn't they have a different lunch break?
Yeah, they had a half-hour one where everyone else had a 45-minute one.
Right. So.
And guests and how to follow the hospital rules.
Direction.
Good job, Ellen. Okay, so you can finish that part up, and then you can say, but when I worked in the safety department, or one of my internships was in the safety department, where anybody?
Collected batteries from all the different departments.
How we want to start that? We can change this of the. Where are you at?
Collected batteries from all the different departments in the hospital.
If I may, Sherry,
Yeah.
wasn't one of the jobs to like, it had something to do with food? I know that. Yeah, that. I was just giving a suggestion.
Oh, that's what Jordan's going to talk about.
Oh, never mind then. My apologies.
No, it's all right. I appreciate it. This is all of us brainstorming as a team, okay? I'm just the one that is typing it over here. One of the departments I worked in was safety, where I collected batteries from the different departments in the hospital. Go ahead, Tyler.
And I sorted the batteries from different types of. I sorted the batteries. I don't know how to say that.
The different types of batteries?
Yeah, I sorted the different types of batteries, I guess.
Okay, Tony's coming out here singing.
And learned how to store them as to not cause an explosion.
Tyler.
Yeah, I guess that would work.
Tyler, here's what I would have said. I would have said I sort the batteries to different items. Or at least that's what I would have said. At least.
I'm still just writing down these last notes here. Tony, honey.
Is Tony okay?
Yeah, when he's singing a sad song out loud, and when he does that, he starts crying.
Uh,
It looks like he's moved on to a different one. Okay, baby doll. I got to work, okay? Just give me a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Aw.
Okay. I collected batteries from the different departments in the hospital. Then, instead of and, maybe. Then I sorted and stored the batteries as not to cause an explosion.
Maybe it would look better if we put fire instead.
Cause a fire.
Yeah, 'cause it makes it sound exciting.
Yeah, no one wants exciting things to happen.
You want exciting things to happen.
Of course you do. It's fun to have exciting things.
We're still going to work on that, but that's some good stuff. All right, Miss Jordan.
Hi, my name is.
What we talked about, but we're also going to add some food service stuff, okay? Yours is getting long. I might have to take some out. But go ahead from the top.
Hi, my name is Jordan.
Wait. Period. So look at your periods and comments.
Hi, my name is Jordan. Like Tyler, I worked at Kaiser as an intern last year. Important skills I have learned include professionalism, how to cope with coworkers, and how important it is to be a good team player. This year, through distance learning, I have learned how not to get distracted, how to work around others in the house and still get up on time. Siri, I think I should just say hi, my name is Jordan, and then we should take out the like Tyler part, because I can just tell them that they can probably figure out that after Tyler, if I'm saying it, they can probably figure it out.
Well, plus you say it in your second sentence. So, okay, go ahead and take it from the top.
Hi, my name is Jordan. I worked at Kaiser as an intern last year, and important skills I have learned include professionalism, how to cope with coworkers, how important it is to be a good team player. This year, through distance learning, I have learned how not to get distracted, how to work around others in the house and still get up on time. And I think I should say in food service, I cleaned the tables, stocked the sodas, the snacks, and I took the trashes out too.
And stock. Oh yeah, you just put that. Never mind.
Okay, I cleaned the table, stocked the sodas and snacks, and I heard learned how to use the professional dishwasher.
Yes, and learned how to use the professional dishwasher.
And don't forget mop the floor sometimes.
I would change sodas to drinks.
Professional to use the professional dishwasher, sweep and mop floors, and empty the trash too.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to what you're saying, Yvonne.
Okay.
Could we elaborate on how to work around others in the house? Maybe, are you guys talking about Zoom?
Yeah, hold on just a second, John. Let me go back to what Yvonne was saying. Yvonne?
Yeah. Change the sodas in that last part there to the drinks.
Stock the drink.
Yeah.
Learn how to use a professional dishwasher, sweep them off the floors, and empty the trash too. Okay, so John, hers is already getting really long. So how would you like to add to that? Because it says this distance learning through Zoom and / distance learning through You don't want to say slash when you're reading. What would you like to see added?
Do you want to say in the house on Zoom?
Yeah, that's easier.
Just put on Zoom after house.
That's easier because then I don't have to explain more.
Okay, so say it, John.
How to work around others in the house on Zoom.
I have learned how to
Not get distracted. How to work around others in the house on Zoom.
work around others in the house on Zoom.
Yeah.
And still get up on time? Okay, but I think food service probably needs to be moved up after intern last year. What do you think?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I agree, Sherry.
Okay, and then I'll take all this off right here. Now I just messed up numbers. Huh. What?
That is always frustrating.
Hold on, it's where I can't see things again.
Do another backspace.
It's not letting me.
Oh.
Sorry, I gotta move you off again. You're gonna take take another ride. Okay. Hi, my name is Jordan. I worked at Kaiser as an intern last year in food service. Should it say I learned to do these things or just what you did?
I learned.
I know that line. Let's see. I learned to clean the table, stock the drinks and snacks. Use the professional dishwasher, sweep and mop the floors, and empty the trash too.
Maybe remove the ED on stocked.
Okay. I think this should maybe be other. Let's see if I can tab it too. Other important skills I have learned include professionalism, how to communicate with coworkers, and how important it is to be a good team player. This year, through distance learning, I've learned how to work around others in the house while on Zoom.
Yeah.
While on Zoom and still get up on time. All right, Royce, I was working on these this morning. I really ran out of time. I worked on yours a little, and then it was like time to get onto Zoom here. So let's figure this out together.
Good morning. My name is Royce. Last year, I worked at Kaiser. I worked on one of the 3 internships I had. My department was at the home health department, where I was trying to put papers together for
Miss Sherry, I just noticed something real
What's that?
quick. You might want to space Royce's with Jordan's because it seems like they're together. I just noticed that.
Thank you. My name is Royce. Last year. Okay, so some of that was a little bit rambly. Okay, go ahead again, Royce.
I mean, I stopped. And then you think what I needed. Thinking for the home health department. I stopped.
Okay, good morning. My name is Royce. Last year I worked at Kaiser. Last year I worked at Kaiser, and one of the internships I worked in was home health, or?
Yes, one of the internships.
And was home health. Where I learned how to
all I did was how to operate the office machines and organizing the papers so I could put it in the folders for people who was on hospice.
Sherry, those folders that Royce put together, was that specifically for people on hospice?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I learned how to operate the office machines and organize paperwork for people or for the nurses who work with hospice patients, or?
Yeah, I think it would be important for him to say just that, because it will say specifically what those packets were for. So I think that's a good idea to be specific there.
Hospice patients or patients in hospice?
Patients in hospice.
Now, not everyone's going to know what that means either, right? Because
Yeah.
and all those there. But that to work with patients in hospice.
Yeah, you think you should define that a little bit?
I don't know.
Making the quality of the end of life as comfortable as possible.
Helping what?
What did I just say? Helping the end of life to be as comfortable as possible, or something to that effect.
Well, I don't.
It doesn't have to be exactly that, but I mean, I can come up with a.
Okay. So the nurses who work with patients in hospice, helping to
make the end of life as comfortable as possible.
But
that way, it kind of explains what hospice is, because I don't think half of them are going to understand what that means, really. And it'd just be kind of nice to be, to let them know what that is.
Okay, so we're going to still work on this one. So go ahead and take it again, Royce.
Good morning. My name is Royce. Last year, I worked at Kaiser, and one of the interns I worked in was in home health, where I learned how to operate the office machines and organize paperwork for nurses who work with patients in hospice, helping to make the end of life as comfortable as possible. Other important skills I learned are mobility, social distancing, Zoom, great at sorting.
Or get rid of that part because you're not doing safety.
Yeah.
I somehow wanted to tie in that your mobility, because you said how it gave you more exercise.
Yeah, just mobility, gave me more exercise, not like good exercise in general.
So other important skills I've learned are social distancing, Zoom.
Yeah, I'll get rid of Zoom because social distancing and Zoom are it's the same thing.
Well, not really. Social distancing is learn to keep 6 feet from people, right? And to keep your mask on and wash your hands, right? That's kind of social distancing, where Zoom is distance learning, right? A whole new way to learn when you have to be in our little boxes instead of in person. But I was trying to tie in this more exercise, our mobility skills, which also I know this is rough.
I mean, it gets easier.
with the social distancing, that even if you do get your vaccine to not get COVID, you still have to do that stuff. That if once you get your vaccine, that doesn't mean you can just take off your mask and stuff and be like, I'm cured. No. Just because you have the vaccine does not mean you can be like, oh, I don't need a mask. I have the shot. No.
No.
That doesn't protect you from it.
You also have to protect yourself and others, right?
Yes.
All right, Royce, let's take that one more time.
Good morning. My name is Royce. Last year, I worked at Kaiser, and one of the internships I worked in was home health, where I learned how to operate the office machines and organize paperwork for nurses who work with patients in hospice, helping to make the end of life as comfortable as possible. Other important skills I have learned are mobility skills, which help me get more exercise and social distancing.
Maybe. Okay. All right. Good. How y'all feeling so far? We have
I feel great.
We have 3 weeks from today, so we're gonna have a lot of time to practice. So now we came down here to just where I still have a bunch of other stuff. We were gonna say something about interview skills. Well, you mentioned it, Tyler. So we're just trying to decide if they're too long, we're not gonna want to add a lot, right? But we would like to really tie in examples of how you learn these different things as much as possible. We talked about interview clothes and a uniform, and with the uniform we discussed that Nathan would talk and Jonathan would show the interview clothes, so we'd still have to work on that one. I think we should say something about DMV since we have just over half our class in it. It's definitely an interest, and it always has been. And Sam, we might even want to say that you are already working at a job, but I think yours was getting kind of long too. And we don't need to talk about hospital codes if you don't want to. And we will need to talk about the important dates, which I'll just, I'll have that typed up for whoever's going to read the important dates. So who hasn't done an extra slide that would like to do any of these?
I would like to do the interview clothes one. Explain what interview clothes are.
Okay. Good, good. All right. Anyone in particular want to talk about DMV? Silence. Nobody.
I'll take it.
Who said that? Oh, Clad. Okay.
I mean, if I don't have anything else to do, then.
Well, you have 2 already. So, in fact, I'm going to put a question mark there. And part of what we should talk about in that is that we study, we study and take the test, but then we also will be going 3 times. Every year the class goes to DMV up to 3 times, something like that.
I think I'll let someone else take over that one.
Anybody?
I could probably do it.
Tyler, you could even go further. I mean, maybe you could talk about, and you took this course last year and you did a lot of studying and you have passed your behind the wheel and you've even gotten as far as your freeway driving test, maybe something like that.
Well, I didn't pass the behind the wheel yet.
Right, but you have gone so far as taking, up to the behind the wheel on the freeway, but you needed to stop because of COVID, or not. It wasn't because of you.
It was because of the stay-at-home order.
Yeah, so maybe you might want to say a little something about that, but and I know you did a lot of studying on your own, but also hopefully you think it was helpful during class.
Yeah.
Because if not, then probably wouldn't be a reason to say it. Okay, important dates. So at the end, that will just be reading the dates. Who doesn't have very many slides that would like to read the dates? Let me look at all of you again. Where are all these lovely students at? Devin's raising his hand. All right, Devin. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. And then, I mean, we could just work. And we didn't talk a lot about safety. Well, a little bit, but it was more about cleaning than safety. So, you know, this is safety in the workplace, right? Someone could talk about how they did their COVID cleaning video or their poster or just what they've learned about it. Advocacy, it was mentioned somewhere, but in the beginning it was, but I didn't see any advocacy in here, did I?
I don't think so.
Okay, and then more on financial management, for example, like budgeting, which we really haven't done much of yet, but we will be doing that a lot. And that's all I have.
I think Nathan was saying something about the writing the checks.
Right, but it wasn't budgeting. He's just talked about understanding paychecks and writing personal checks.
Do you want him to add budgeting? Since he's talking about the checks.
It's a little bit hard since we haven't done that much of it yet, but we will have done more in these upcoming weeks here before we do the presentation. And plus, Yvonne, I mean, you know the drill. Maybe you could help them with some things maybe we haven't even done yet, but you know we're coming, or we could all just work together. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this. Oh, wait, let me make sure I put save. And stop share. Wait a second. And how do I get back to stop share?
The green, I think it's the green button on the bottom.
It's the red or the green.
It's not on the bottom. Yeah. All it's showing me is, you know, my thing.
Oh, would it be on the top? I think it'd be on the top, that green bar.
Should be a red. It's right next to the green bar. It's red. It says stop share. It should be.
All your pictures across the top now. Okay, got it. I just keep covering it with something. Stop share. Bring people back together.
Welcome back.
Yay.
So why am I seeing so many black screens here?
Maybe because of your internet connection.
No, it was Sam, and then maybe the last two are just there's no one there. Okay.
It takes a while for them to come back, I think, from the shared screen.
I'm still here.
Yeah, everybody.
As am I.
Jordan, I gotta ask you. You do not seem to be getting up and caring much about how you look for class. Your hair has obviously not been fixed.
I brushed it before I came on Zoom.
Jordan, you and I have been, almost 2 years on this, okay? I know you got better in you. Okay?
I have a question.
Okay, I have an answer.
So, would it be okay if I explain to them, the ones that haven't got the vaccine yet, what it's like to actually get it and what it feels like?
Not for this, because we're just talking about Project Search and not so much about COVID. Okay, I mean, you can talk to our students about it at some point because you are the only one that's gotten it, to my knowledge, but it wouldn't be something I think will go in our presentation.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Nathan.
I know it's gonna be a lot on the plate, but I'm actually gonna offer my services to you to present the program. If you need anything, I can do it. I know I've got 3 already, though.
Okay. All right, we got can-do attitude. I love that.
Of course you like it.
I think it's gonna go well.
What kind of person doesn't like a good candid attitude?
All right.
It's gonna be a good day.
All right, free for all, 5 minutes.
Okay, nap time. No, I'm kidding.
No, I mean, you may talk about you don't even
So how was everyone's weekend?
Mine was great, actually.
Same here.
Pretty good.
I set up my trains.
I have no complaints.
Actually, I didn't actually lay around the house Saturday. I went to Carmichael Park for a funeral, which that was interesting. So having a funeral at a park, it was like, oh, apparently we're gonna have this at a park. Lovely.
Well, if I may say, I hung out with two friends for the 2 days. I hung out with my friend Sarah on Sunday, and then on on Saturday I hung out with her. On Sunday I hung out with Eli, and we made cinnamon rolls. We went to the store ourselves, and we used our money. We used the self checkout, and we bought three things of cinnamon rolls, and we made them. You see,
Good.
it was actually really easy.
Talk about independence.
And we
All fun. You went to the store yourself, made them yourself, and did you eat them yourself or did you share?
We shared them.
Good.
We split them between everyone who wanted one. They were tasty.
Good. Good.
Cinnamon rolls.
All right. Anybody else? I do have two little last minute things here.
I went to the park and rode bikes with my daughter, but it was too windy, so we went home.
Which park was it?
What is it? Bell Park, I think. It's
How?
off of Bell and Northrop.
Oh, wow. Yeah, for me, I know Home Terrace Park by heart, so Parkway, excuse me.
How is your daughter doing?
She's good. Thanks for asking.
Been
She's
some
hyper.
Time with Dad.
Wind makes kids crazy.
Yeah, I took my mom out to lunch Sunday. We ate at Black Angus outside. We took her to get a manicure and a pedicure and put makeup on and made her feel all pretty. So
Oh, cool.
she liked that.
Nice.
All right, my last two things. Nathan, I know you sent me the interview questions once, but would you please resend them to Yvonne and John?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Nathan, do you have them typed out?
Typed out, I do not, but if you like, I can type them out today and then I can send them to you.
What he has is he has a typed version with his answers on it.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's typed and then his answers are underneath.
Oh, but his handwritten ones.
Well, the questions are typed, but his answers are handwritten, right?
Right.
Your answers are typed too, right, Nathan?
My answers are not, I believe they are typed, but they're in Google Docs somewhere.
Yeah. So
Because I
if
do
you
have-
please get that to us again, I greatly appreciate it. And then Stefan, have you started working on your IEP introduction?
No.
Okay, so listen, you are quite behind.
Can get started on that.
Okay, so Stefan, you
May
are
I have that?
You are behind because you missed Friday. So you missed the paycheck. You missed how to add it to the bank statement. And you have this IEP in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow. Okay? So if you need help, I know Yvonne's helping you. If you need more help, I'm more than happy to help you with your introduction. But make sure you get help on the things you missed. Same with you, Jordan. You were out Friday, correct?
Yep.
Yes. So you missed your paycheck and how to put things in your statement. Okay? So let's get you two caught up. So we don't want you to fall behind. So I know you've got extra time with John, so I'm not so much worried about yours, Jordan. Go ahead, Andrew.
I have an announcement to make.
No, do not say how many days it is to your birthday. We
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead, Yvonne.
Did you send me the script for Stefan's IEP?
I did. That's the one you said thank you.
Okay, so Stefan, tomorrow we can set up a time if you want to work on that. So we can get a little bit ahead because we have Thursday to work on it too. But if you want to set aside some time Wednesday, I'd be more than happy to help you Wednesday. Okay.
Yes, that'd be perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Other than happening with your headphones? We got to figure that out too, because he's starting to freeze more.
Yeah.
That's an internet connection issue.
I have
Yeah, yeah.
Headphones.
Yeah. Yeah.
I worry about Stefan's. I worry a little bit about Sam's. If we can
Yeah.
All the help so would be appreciated.
Okay, absolutely, Stefan.
Okay. As you get your speeches, please, how should we have them send them to me? I want to be able to keep up with what you're saying and the changes you're making. I don't know if you'd like me to sign it or if you can just send it or how we'd like to do that. Go ahead, Andrew.
I could probably send it to you through Google Docs.
That's a good idea, Sherry.
Do I need to set that up or have you all got that?
Well, the students that I worked with, I sent them their part of the speech, and they're able to add to that. So I think it may be confusing to have them add to that one that you were working on, right?
Yeah.
That might be a good idea for everyone to share that, but I don't know if it'll get confusing because everyone can be on it at the same time writing things, so that might get a little bit hectic for the students. So it might be a better idea to have them all work on their own. Like my students, I have, like Eleanor and Stefan, you guys have your presentation, just what you're going to say, right? So you can shoot that to Sherry, share it with her. So when you update it, I'll have it updated. And if you share it with John and Sherry, then they can have their updated too. And we can add and make suggestions. I will make my suggestions in pink. John has blue, and Sherry, if you want to do like purple or something, so we know where their suggestions are coming from. And I think that might be easier. And then Sherry, maybe you can mesh them later when they get, okay, this is my speech and this is what I'm going to say. When they're done, then we can mesh them in order.
Okay, I know we're 2 minutes over. So you're going to have them work on them separately, and then I'm going to put them on the big part. Should I send the big part to everyone or no?
I would send them their speech.
Okay.
Just copy and paste and send them their speech.
And John, can you please send me the recognition reports in a different format? It has me asking you for permission on each and every one of those, and that'll make me nudge.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Go back to.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And
Yeah.
all of you, I'm not getting all of your recognitions. Okay. I can't do prizes without recognitions, correct? And this will be our last week of this month. So if everyone could please get those caught up. Go ahead, Nathan.
Okay.
We're over. Go ahead, Nathan.
Yes, if you like, I can type the questions out, just the questions, and then send them over to Miss Yvonne over Google Docs if you like.
You mean the answers?
Just the questions that I have here on the paper.
The interview questions?
Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna type them out and then send them.
I have the questions. I have the questions. I don't need those. I need your answers.
Questions. That's why he's telling you. Nathan has the right questions. So he was going to send them to us. The ones we have, the last ones we did where it was talking about.
I see.
That's not the right questions.
Oh, okay, Nathan. I'm sorry. Then yes, send them, please.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Are we good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It should be good.
And the rest of you in the morning, and I hope to be getting paperwork from you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
I'm gonna go make myself some lunch. You're so soft.
So Joe Biden is set to be sworn in on Wednesday, tomorrow by the time that most of you see this video, and he's already planning a number of day one executive orders that I think are objectively good. Now I do have a criticism of Joe Biden that I will be addressing, but I will give him credit where it's due. Like, my goal here going forward is not to be a hack. If Joe Biden does something that I disagree with, something that's damaging and harmful, I'm going to call him out for it, and I'm going to try to hold him accountable. If he does something that I think is good, then I'm going to give him credit for it. Like, I'm not trying to create any sort of narrative, either Joe Biden good or bad. As a leftist, I think that you all know where I stand. Joe Biden has an extensive record that is extremely problematic and conservative. So overall, he doesn't get a honeymoon. You know, I don't give him this grace period where, you know, for the first couple of weeks, something that he does, I just brush it off as well, he's learning. No, he knows what he's doing. But when it comes to these executive orders that he is reportedly planning, I think these are good. I've got to give him credit for this. And these are things that most reasonable people will be in favor of. So as Michael Shear and Peter Baker of the New York Times reports, on his first day in office alone, Mr. Biden intends a flurry of executive orders that will be partly substantive and partly symbolic. They include rescinding the travel ban on several predominantly Muslim countries, rejoining the Paris Climate Change Accord, extending pandemic-related limits on evictions and student loan repayments, issuing a mask mandate for federal property and interstate travel, and ordering agencies to figure out how to reunite children separated from families after crossing the border, according to a memo circulated on Saturday by Ron Klain, his incoming White House chief of staff, and obtained by the New York Times. The blueprint of executive action comes after Mr. Biden announced that he will push Congress to pass a $1.9 trillion package of economic stimulus and pandemic relief, signaling a willingness to be aggressive on policy issues and confronting Republicans from the start to take their lead from him. He also plans to send sweeping immigration legislation on his first day in office, providing a pathway to citizenship for 11 million people in the country illegally, along with his promise to vaccinate 100 million Americans for the coronavirus in his first 100 days. It is an expansive set of priorities for a new president that could be a defining test of his deal-making abilities and command of the federal government. Now, when it comes to him saying he's going to vaccinate 100 million Americans within the first 100 days, if he is actually able to accomplish this, which currently it seems like a logistical nightmare, he really does get credit for that. When it comes to, rescinding the most horrible things that Trump did, even symbolic things such as the Muslim ban, because right now, it's very difficult to travel globally because of coronavirus. But these are all things that are really important and meaningful, and I expected this. I expected him to get us back into the Paris Climate Accord, because this was one of the signature achievements of the Obama era, and this isn't good. Just the Paris Climate Accord alone isn't good, but it's still better than nothing. It's better than nothing. It is meaningful. It does make a difference. Just to have a president that actually believes in anthropogenic climate change in and of itself, I think that is important. It is meaningful, given that we don't have much time left to act on climate change. So wherever there is a victory, I'm going to take it, even if it might not necessarily be enough. But things like, mask mandates federally, you can't impose a federal mask mandate. But what he can do is make sure that if you're on federal property, you are required to wear a mask. Interstate travel, that's also important. So these are things that I think will make a huge difference in the short term. And that's important. You have to take meaningful action to make sure that long term we are in a better place. But on your first day, I do expect you to focus on the short term, and these are easy things that he can accomplish. When it comes to student loan debt cancellation, I don't know what he's going to do. There is some pressure from members of Congress, including Chuck Schumer, to cancel at least $50,000 worth of student debt. We'll wait and see. It seems like Joe Biden is reluctant to do that. But these are great things, and I'm in favor of it. And that's not all. To the chagrin of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he also will be killing off the Keystone XL pipeline. And as Jake Johnson of Common Dreams reports, President-elect Joe Biden is reportedly planning on the day of his inauguration to rescind a federal permit allowing construction of the Keystone XL pipeline in the United States, a move environmentalists said would represent an immense victory for the planet, attributable to years of tireless indigenous-led opposition to the dirty energy project. CBC News reported Sunday that the words "rescind Keystone XL pipeline permit" appear on a list of executive actions supposedly scheduled for day one of Biden's presidency, which begins with his swearing in on Wednesday. The withdrawal of the Keystone XL permit is among several environment-related actions Biden plans to take via executive order during his first day in office, a list that includes rejoining the Paris Climate Accord. Now look, it's easy to give Biden credit for this, but you also have to give credit to the indigenous groups who never let their foot off the gas, who applied continuous pressure on both the Canadian and U.S. governments to kill this project off. So this is good. I'm going to take a victory wherever I can get a victory. Times are dark right now, and so long as we're moving in the right direction, no matter how large of a step that we take, I think currently I'm looking for anything, and this is all really encouraging to me. Having said all of that, though, Biden gets credit if he does, in fact, do all of this. But one area where we can't let him off the hook for is the lie that he peddled about stimulus checks. We were told many times that if Democrats retook the Senate, we get $2,000 checks. All you've got to do is vote for Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff, give us the Senate, and in exchange for that, we will give you $2,000 checks. Well, now he's backtracking on that. Rather than giving us $2,000 checks, now we're being promised $1,400 checks. Because if you subtract the $600 that we already received from the $2,000, then we get $1,400, and $1,400 plus $600 equals $2,000. Except that's not what you said, though. That's not what you said. This is a literal mailer that Raphael Warnock's campaign sent out with a fake $2,000 check. This doesn't say $1,400. It says $2,000. And as Rebecca Bitton puts it, no matter how you rationalize this, it was a bait and switch. Using a visual device to motivate voters was effective. Backtracking and changing the amount on the check is a betrayal. And she's absolutely right. Like, you can't just do that and then immediately go back on that promise. Like, of course, you get credit for the other good things that you're doing, but what kind of bullshit is this, where you tell us $2,000 checks are coming, we just got to give Democrats the Senate, and then you get the Senate back, and now suddenly you say, no, it's going to be $1,400. Look, it should have been $2,000 per month. So the fact that all we're asking for in this instance is a one-time check of $2,000, I think that's pretty reasonable. Look at other countries. Canada, the UK, they have given their residents more. We haven't gotten the relief necessary. And going forward, I hope that Biden actually sees to it that there is a continued relief effort, and not just like this one-time check or payment every couple of months. But this is not okay, and I'm glad that members of the squad are actually holding his feet to the fire. AOC spoke to the Washington Post, and she also is against this 180 from the Biden administration, saying $2,000 means $2,000. $2,000 does not mean $1,400. And she's absolutely right. If you are out of the gate going back on a major promise, something that will drastically improve people's lives in the short term, like, you're setting yourself up for failure. So on one hand, the things that he's doing that are good, the federal mask mandate, basically, I also expect him to reinstate DACA as well, prioritizing immigration reform, a huge $1.9 trillion relief package. I mean, the devil is in the details, but these are positive things. But you can't just, dangle $2,000 in front of people as a motivator and then immediately go back on that promise, because going forward in future elections, the midterm coming up in 2022, how do you expect people to believe you? So look, ultimately, I've said this once, I'll say it again, Joe Biden and Democrats, they've got to deliver. When you control the totality of government, all eyes are on you. Well, except for the Supreme Court, but all eyes are on you. So if something goes wrong, you're going to be held accountable. So, it seems as if going into this, being sworn in, and on day one planning a lot of things, that is a good sign. It tells me that at least for now, he knows there's a lot of crises going on simultaneously that he has to address immediately. But at the same time, by rescinding, this promise, going back on the $2,000 check promise, that tells me that you still don't fully get it. You still are going to be out of touch with the needs of people. So look, it's one thing to, do all of these good things. He gets credit for that. But this is seriously, this pisses me the fuck off with the $2,000 check thing. I think that everyone is reasonable for expecting $2,000. It's not like we're stupid and naive for thinking, oh, well, of course, by saying we get a $2,000 check, he meant we get a $1,400 check because we already got $600. Nobody thought that. No reasonable person thought that. So, we hold him accountable for that and then praise him when he does things that are good. This is the way that I intend to react to the Biden administration. But overall, if I could make a prediction, I think I'm largely going to be dissatisfied with Joe Biden's administration because he isn't as progressive as anyone needs him to be currently. In fact, he's not progressive at all. But having said that, though, will he be better than Donald Trump? Yeah, I fully expect him to be better than Donald Trump, but the bar is pretty fucking low if we're talking about Donald Trump and any Republican, given how far to the right they've shifted. But, having said that, though, this is what we can expect from the first day of Joe Biden's administration, and it looks good, just like don't go back on promises like the $2,000 check.
You know, you know, you know the thing. You're getting nervous, man.
Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today is Tuesday, January 19th, 2021, and today we're going to be talking about the 2022 United States Senate elections and discussing the possibility of a Democratic wave in this year. Now, the reason why this is even being discussed is because of the current climate that we are in. In 2018, the Republican Party lost the House of Representatives. They lost 40 seats to the Democratic Party. The Democrats won the popular vote in the United States Senate elections by 20 percentage points, but as a result, the Republicans ended up gaining 2 Senate seats. I can actually show you the 2018 Senate election results right here, and you will see the Republicans went from just 51 seats all the way up to 53. This was with 4 states being flipped in this midterm election. The Democrats counteracted that by flipping 2 seats from the Republican Party, but overall a net gain of 2 for the Republicans. Well, this came from victories in Indiana, Missouri, and North Dakota, which weren't too shocking for the Republican Party, but Florida was definitely the biggest bummer of the evening for the Democratic Party, considering they lost it by just 0.2%. The Democrats did, however, pick up the states of Arizona and Nevada. They won Nevada by 5 points. They won Arizona by nearly 3 points. So the Democrats did have some victories that evening, but it wasn't exactly the election that they had hoped that it would be. It was supposedly a Democratic wave, and I think it very much was in the United States House of Representatives. Like I mentioned, 40 gained seats, winning control from the Republican Party. But the Senate was also in contention. The Democrats could have won back the United States Senate had they retained all of the seats that they carried previously and just picked up those 2 Senate seats. But it was too much to overcome the polarization in some of these states, the overwhelming Republican support as a result of Donald Trump's shifts in some of these states, enough that Democrats lost in Florida, lost in Indiana, lost in Missouri, and lost in North Dakota. Well, we could be seeing a very similar thing happening, just with opposite sides. The Republicans could win the House in 2022, but the Democrats could experience not only, a good victory like the Republicans did, but a Democratic wave. And it also doesn't just have to do with the fact that 2018 is a perfect example of how this could happen, but also, like I mentioned, the national environment that we are in. Donald Trump is an outgoing, unpopular president, not even hitting 40%. As he leaves office, he will be gone in 23 hours as this is being recorded. On top of that, there are so many things that are going to happen, that is going to benefit a newly elected President Biden. We're talking about an economic recovery. We're talking about lockdowns being lifted. We're talking about beating a global pandemic for at least a year. The Democratic Party is going to hold on to a lot of everything that's happening and try to attribute everything that's happening to President Biden, to Vice President Kamala Harris, to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The Democrats have a trifecta, and they will undoubtedly experience a popularity bump because we are going to see an economic recovery. We are going to see vaccine distribution. So many things are going to happen that it's possible in 2022, if the Republicans still cling on to that Trump-like ideology and try to run candidates like him, even though he just lost an election, it is possible. The Democrats do experience a Democratic wave, and of course I'm going to make a video where we discuss a Republican wave. It's not going to be, just one side. I just think that this is a scenario that you would have completely discounted, that there would be a Republican wave in 2018, which there actually wasn't a Republican wave. They just won the states that they had won overwhelmingly 4 years prior. Florida was probably the only true state that should have been super surprising that the Republicans had won there. But looking at this 2022 Senate map, well, the Democrats won in 2 states currently that have Republican incumbents, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has a retiring incumbent Republican. Wisconsin, we have yet to hear from Ron Johnson, but all signs are pointing to that he's not going to retire from his position. So looking at the Senate map, the Democrats do have areas where they won in the 2020 election that they could actually win in, and that's what we're going to be showing you. So pretty much we are already at 45 seats for the Democratic Party straight off the bat. The Republican Party still has some of their own seats that aren't exactly going to be in contention, even though this would be a Democratic type wave. This would just be in a scenario where the Democrats do experience a bump with Joe Biden's popularity rating. They're able to ride that into a midterm election. The last time the incumbent party did not lose seats in either chamber of Congress in a midterm election was in the year 2000. That was a year after 9/11 had occurred. The Republicans were at a very high point in terms of approval. I don't know why I said Jeb Bush. George W. Bush was at a very high approval around the midterm time period. So the Democrats didn't exactly have a lot of energy on their side entering into those midterms. But in 2006, just 4 years later, the Democrats won back the Senate and won back the House. And then 2 years later, went on to win large majorities that we will probably never see in our lifetimes again. So looking at the states that are characterized, pretty much we have a lot of the same type of states that are going to be still safe for the GOP. That brings us to a total of 43 safe states for the GOP, 45 safe for the Democratic Party. Now, the Democrats aren't going to win all of the remaining competitive races. Of course, that's not realistic, but what we are going to see is the Democratic Party solidify some of the states where they already have incumbents. On top of that, go into states that Republicans currently hold, and that's where we're going to start to see that wave thing happening. If you're wondering why Georgia has a safe Democratic characterization already in that tiny little circle, it's because Jon Ossoff will be the incumbent Democratic senator. He was elected to a 6-year term, not a 2-year term. So Raphael Warnock's up for a 2-year term. This election will be, This election will be for a 6-year term. So looking at the Georgia results in the 2020 election, you have to point out that one election was for 2 years, the other election was for 6 years. That's how it works. So I don't know if that was too confusing to understand, but that's pretty much how the election turned out in the Senate runoff election. So taking a look at the overall, map itself, there are clear areas where the Democratic Party is going to have a pretty strong lockdown. And that's because they won in these regions in the 2020 election. And if it is a Democratic wave, well, you can't expect too many Republicans to be, in super high support. You can't expect them to run candidates that are going to be winning in some of these races. I mean, this would be the equivalent of running Martha McSally again in Arizona for some of these races. So Nevada would would be a likely Democratic state. Colorado as well. Arizona would also be a lean Democratic state. And this would be, of course, a Democratic wave. Now, not to say the Democrats couldn't win by a lean amount in a non-wave year, but I think this would be the peak, just because Arizona is not exactly what I would say is a solid Democratic state. While the Democrats have been very fortunate enough to win in some of these races time and time again after 2016, they still have to face their first type of race where there isn't an incumbent Republican president. And for right now, I'd just say, lean for the Democrats, but likely in Nevada, likely in Colorado. And then we can take a look over on the Midwest type of region, Wisconsin, Iowa, Ohio. So looking at the, Rust Belt region, the Democratic Party is going to have a little bit of trouble winning against some of the more popular incumbent Republicans in both Iowa and Ohio. I want to show you guys the last time these elections were up for grabs. Now, I know Ohio and Iowa are states that traditionally are competitive. Absolutely. But let's take a look at these Senate margins. Well, Chuck Grassley won with 60% of the vote, only one county voting for the Democratic Party in the entire state, not even, major counties with major cities. Not even. Also, in Ohio, a competitive state normally, went to the Republican with 58% of the vote. Strickland actually had a time period where people thought he could be a competitive candidate. I mean, he probably could have been, had a number of things not hindered his campaign. On top of that, Portman was just too popular to beat. And it also was 2016. Donald Trump won the state by 8 points in 2016. So this was about a 10% improvement off of Donald Trump's margin, 11%. 12% at that. So looking at the margin of victory, very, very solid, very few counties voting for the Democratic candidate here. And in 2022, if we're talking about a Democratic wave, the most I could see is a 14%, 13% margin of victory for Republicans here. That's the best I could see for the Democrats, unless they have retiring incumbents. That's still yet to see. But for right now, I think both of those incumbents are very solid, even in what would be a Democratic wave year in this scenario. And then for the Democrats, they also have another likely state. They have the state of New Hampshire. I think if it's a Democratic wave, and even if Chris Sununu does decide to run, well, it could be a likely Democratic state. I don't think Sununu's the automatic shoo-in. I don't think it's going to start out as tilt Republican, even if he announces. I don't think it'll start out as toss-up. I think the Democrats will maintain their advantage. Kelly Ayotte was a very, very strong candidate in 2016 and still lost. despite Donald Trump losing the state by just 2,000 votes, she still lost. I think Maggie Hassan is someone who's definitely going to give Chris Sununu a run for his money, quite literally. It's probably going to be one of the more expensive Senate races, and while he may be a popular governor, governing is very different than going on to be someone who represents a state on the national level in Congress. You can ask Steve Bullock, you can ask my governor, Larry Hogan. He probably would not win a Senate race, probably not even come close, to be completely real with you. It's very obvious that some of these states are very partisan, and while New Hampshire is by no means as partisan as Montana or as partisan as Maryland, Maggie Hassan is definitely someone who cannot be, completely discounted or discounted whatsoever. I think she will be a very strong candidate for Democrats, regardless if it's a wave year, regardless if it's a year that's going to be not too beneficial for Democrats. So that's 49 seats for the Democrats, 45 for the Republicans. So we're actually going to characterize the state of Alaska as a likely independent rating. Now, what does this actually mean? Well, this would be counting on the fact that Lisa Murkowski removes herself from the Republican Party. And like I mentioned very early in the video, this is a scenario where we're talking about the possibility of the Republican Party being a complete Trump-type party where they run candidates who embody the former president, actually president for right now, but will be former president by the time 2022, and try to run as candidates that are similar to Trump in terms of campaign style, similar to Trump in terms of the way that they speak to voters. So I think that could be a deciding factor that could push Lisa Murkowski over to the independent column, possibly caucusing with the Democratic Party. I actually made a video about that. You should see it at the top right corner of your screen. So what we're talking about is the possibility that Lisa Murkowski could switch to the independent, or not the independent party because it's not a political party, could no longer be affiliated with either political party, join the Senate as an independent, and possibly win. Because of ranked choice voting, she will probably be secure for her re-election bid because of that alone. The Democrats will likely send all of their votes to her after the Democrat probably wouldn't make it to the second round. And Republicans, of course, some of those more moderate Republicans who like Lisa Murkowski will also send their votes to her. So the Trump wing of the Republican Party in Alaska is by no means the overwhelming majority of voters, or the majority of voters at that. And I think for that reason, Lisa Murkowski would have some type of incentive, actually, to join the Senate as an independent, even though she's currently a Republican, I guess, switch parties and caucus with the Democratic Party, because that would still win her re-election bid. On top of that, she's already floated that she could possibly be leaving the GOP if they continue down this pathway. And from what I'm seeing, nothing's changing fundamentally with the GOP. So that would put the Democrats already in the majority. That's 50 seats. But also, I would say the Democrats would hold on to the state of Georgia. I think that's a given in this scenario. Georgia goes to the Democratic Party. That puts us down to 4 toss-up states. That could mean that Georgia, the Republicans ran a very bad candidate. Maybe Doug Collins, I think, could even lose against Raphael Warnock. It's not exactly going to be the easiest thing to gain, but I think this is definitely going to be Republican target number 1. But again, Democratic wave year, it's going to the Democrats. So let's talk about the remaining races. Well, the first 2 that I'm going to flip to the Democrats I don't think are too surprising. We're talking about Wisconsin. We're talking about Pennsylvania. These are states that are very solid for the Democratic Party, and I think not solid for the Democratic Party, that were flipped for the Democratic Party in the 2020 election. I think that if they're able to ride that victory and they're able to nominate strong candidates, possibly the lieutenant governor or Connor Lamb in Pennsylvania. I'm not entirely sure who the Democrats should be running in Wisconsin just yet, but I do think that if the Democrats can field a strong candidate, they can play Ron Johnson as the Trump-type sympathizer that, arguably he is. He went into Congress starting off by originally planning to vote against the certification of certain states, to object to the electoral count in Arizona, to object to the electoral count in Pennsylvania. Until the Capitol insurrection happened, he didn't change his mind. Up until that point, when he officially decided, maybe he won't be doing that. I think he largely did that because he realized he would lose a very significant portion of his electorate if he was able to go along with that, coming from a state that voted for Biden right after Trump was going to get a very clear approval dip. So he couldn't necessarily cling on to President Trump as much as he did for the past 6 years, but would be 6 years in 2022, 4 years for right now, 5 years technically. And I think that it's possible the Democrats do defeat him. I think they could pick up the open race in Pennsylvania. I think both of these would be amongst the easier races for the Democratic Party to pick up. And then the final state I could see going to the Democrats is not Florida, but it's actually North Carolina. I think if the Democrats can tap into a pretty solid portion of the base here, a portion of the electorate, specifically the minority electorate, the same way they did in 2020, but they don't have, the Republican Party doesn't have that Trump energy on their side, North Carolina could vote for a Democrat in this Senate election if we're talking about a Democratic wave. But Florida, I still think, is just out of reach for the Democrats, at least immediately, until they're able to clean up their entire electoral process. For right now, I don't think Marco Rubio or even Ivanka Trump would be someone who could be beatable in this type of election. I think that the grip there for the Republican Party has just been going on for years and years now, and I think that it's going to be very difficult for the Democrats to pick up a race there. But we still have time to see. If Marco Rubio is the nominee, though, I think Democrats are probably just going to nominate a sacrificial lamb, someone who could just be on the ballot so the Democrats are able to run a candidate. But most people know that Democrat is not going to have a too good chance of defeating Marco Rubio in a state that pretty much adores him. You know, even some Democrats, even some independents, a lot of independents at that. So overall, a Democratic wave would have put the Democratic Party at a 54 to 46 majority, assuming Lisa Murkowski would join the Democrats in this scenario. Even if she doesn't, the Democrats have a 53 to 47 majority, the same numbers that were given to the Republicans after the 2018 Senate election. So this would come with flips in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. 3 flips for the Democratic Party. The Republicans retain every other state. The Democrats retain every other state. But Alaska definitely could be a tricky one, because if Lisa Murkowski does join the independents or joins as an independent, it could be a pretty solid state for her. But it really all depends on who she caucuses with. But it's very possible that she decides to join the Democratic Party indirectly and hand them their final number, reaching them at 54 to 46. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to comment down